Linda here from ITTT, back this week with another live session, and I'm super excited to talk about today's topic, which is something very dear to my heart, of course, and that is teaching English in Asia. So that's what we're going to talk about today, and specifically how to get an English teaching job in Asia. And Asia is a huge continent, of course, so we're going to look at the different regions and also certain key countries that are very popular amongst teachers and have the highest demand. And we're going to look at those countries a little bit more closely to find out how you can go and teach there, the requirements, just the local EFL market, teaching market, and how to find a job teaching English in China sort of at the end. We're going to look at that as well. So a lot of good stuff coming today. I'm very excited, like I said, because Asia is kind of my thing. So I'm a bit of an expert in this, I hope. But I've been living in Asia since pretty much 2012. And yeah, I'm very excited to talk about this today. So good stuff coming. As always, guys, please don't forget to like and subscribe. We're live here on Facebook and on YouTube at the same time. And also, if you're listening to this as a podcast episode, thank you for your download. We really appreciate that. We always turn our live sessions into podcast episodes after they are done. So if you're listening to this, thank you so much. And how can you find the podcast? Basically, any major podcast platform. You just type in the TEFL and TESOL podcast by ITTT, and then it will show up there. So you can take us with you on the go. I would appreciate that. Like I always say, I listen to my podcasts when I'm driving. A lot of people listen to it on their commutes and stuff. So you can go ahead and do that. Yeah, first things first, also, this first, I wanted to show you guys this first. Okay, this is our 30% off link. So what you can do today, we offer you a 30% discount off of our TEFL or TESOL course. So what you can do here, you can scan this QR code and get a discount. Or I also have the link for you. I just need to find the link real quick and then share it. Here, found it. I'm going to share that link with you in the comments so you can have a look. If you're not yet TEFL or TESOL certified, this is a great opportunity to do so. 30% off saves you a lot of money. Don't pay full price. Use this code. And if you're listening to this as a podcast, this link will be in the podcast description as well, so you can copy and paste it from there. But yeah, this is 30% off, and a TEFL or a TESOL certificate will really, really help you when teaching English abroad, and also specifically in Asia, what we're going to talk about today. So yeah. If you have any questions about our TEFL courses, about ITTT, anything like that, at the end, we will have a Q&A session where you can ask your questions, but you can also keep your comments coming throughout the entire live session via the comment section. And we already have somebody saying, hi, how are you doing? And I also want to ask you guys, where are you watching from right now? Where are you at? Let me know in the comments. Just type in real quick where you're at. And also, if you can't hear me or you can't see me, if there's any technical issues, I would really appreciate if you just let me know in the comments so then we can get that fixed. But I hope everything is okay. Everything looks good here my end. Then if everything's okay and everything's good, we can jump right in. But I really want to know where you guys are watching from today. Where are you at? What time is it there? Maybe, excuse me, a little bit about me first. I am, let's do this. Maybe not, because I'm cut off. Let's do, what are we doing? Let's do this. Okay, so, a little bit about me first. If you're watching this for the first time and you're quite sure what is going on, I got you. So my name is Linda, and I'm a teacher, a travel writer, a content creator, many different things. And I have my own website at lindagoeseast.com. So if you're interested specifically in teaching English in China, in Asia, not in China also, but also Korea and all the other Asian countries, head to lindagoeseast.com. You find a lot of information about what it's like living in Asia, traveling in Asia, teaching English in Asia. So I got you for this. Check it out. And also on Instagram, if you're interested, at Linda Goes East. I'm very active over there. You can give me a follow. I would appreciate that. And you can also send me a private message if you want. If there's a question you have, but you don't want to ask here in front of everybody, totally cool. Just send me a message over there and I will get back to you. I'm originally from Germany and the US. So my mom is from Germany. My dad is from America. Born and raised in Germany, but I also spent a lot of time in America. I went to university over there. And yeah, so that's why I actually teach English and I also teach German. So that's been fun. But yeah, I'm also a TEFL and TESOL marketing professional for ITTT, which is why I'm here for you guys doing the live sessions. And if you're new to all of this and you're not quite sure what is ITTT, ITTT stands for International TEFL and TESOL Training. So we're all about helping you achieve and fulfill your dream of living abroad, teaching English, changing people's lives, exploring the world, but also nowadays, if you're into the whole remote working, online teaching kind of side of things, that's also cool. And we can also help you with that. We have a lot of courses specifically for going abroad, but also for teaching English online. We have a TESOL diploma course, a lot of different course options for whatever your goal is, basically. Yeah, and if you're also not quite sure what ITTT is, we're a leading TEFL and TESOL course provider worldwide. We have online courses, in-class courses, combined courses, a lot of different courses. So check us out. And like I said in the beginning, we do have a 30% off opportunity. So you don't want to miss that. Check it out. The link for this discount is in the description. It looks like this. It ends with FB Live minus Linda. And you can also scan this QR code here. So 2 ways how to get this. And yeah, I would really, really appreciate if you take a moment. And if you're not yet TEFL or TESOL certified, just take advantage of this discount. You know, don't pay full price. But if you have any questions about which course to take, you can do so at the end today in our Q&A session. And then, yeah, Amitava is here. Hi, Amitava. Oh, and Amitava sent me something in German. Amitava says, Hallo Linda, guten Morgen. Wie geht es dir heute? Vielen Dank. Mir geht es super. Mir geht es gut. I'm great. So Amitava's asking, we're saying good morning. How are you today? And I'm great. Thank you so much, Amitava. I appreciate it. I need to look up how to say it in your language next time. You need to let me know. I love learning languages. It's been one of my passions for a very long time. So I'm all up for learning new languages all the time. I started learning Japanese this year, so very excited to also maybe learn a new language. So I'm always interested in that. All right, very good, very good. Let's have a look. So again, today's topic is TEFL in 2023, specifically taking a look at how to get an English teaching job in Asia. What is Asia all about? That's what we're going to look at specifically in 2023. A lot of things maybe have changed, staying the same, or new. I don't know. We're going to find out. We're going to find out. I also have my coffee here. So if you're staying here and watching the whole thing, maybe also grab a drink, grab a snack, whatever you want. We usually are live between 45 minutes and an hour. So we'll see how it goes today, depending on, how fast we can go through the slides. I always have some slides here. How many questions you have, and just overall, we'll see how long it takes. But I always appreciate everybody staying on. If you can't stay on for that long, I totally get it. You don't have to. I'm not going to be mad. Maybe a little mad, but I'm not going to be mad. But you can always watch the replay. You can always watch the replay. We always keep our live sessions in our playlists on Facebook and also on YouTube, so you can always come back to it and rewatch. Also, if you leave a comment after the live is finished, we're still going to get back to you. No problem. Also, before we jump in, this email address is very important. If you have any questions about ITTT, about our course options, anything like that, email us, courses@tsol-tefl.com. Reach out. Our team is here for you. We have course consultants that sit down virtually with you and find out which course is best for you, for your goal, etc. So that is always an option. All right, then maybe let's jump right into today's topic, where we talk about, again, teaching English in Asia in 2023. Let's have a look. We did that already. All right. And I created this new layout here. I'm not sure if you're aware, but if the text is too small and you can't read it very well, just let me know in the comments and then I'm going to make that bigger. But I kind of like this new layout where I'm not that tiny and you guys can still kind of see me. I like that. So let's have a look at first the challenges of teaching English in Asia in 2023. There are 3 distinct challenges this year, or this season, basically, for teaching English in Asia, which is number 1, increased competition. So increased competition for job openings because of due to a large number of college graduates entering the market, but also a lot of people, not just college graduates, but a lot of people who kind of postponed their teaching abroad in Asia journey due to COVID. And now all of the countries are pretty much back to normal in Asia and around the world. So you have increased competition here. A lot of people who didn't go abroad to teach for the past few years are now going. So we have increased competition. So we have those people who are waiting, and then a whole new pool of fresh college graduates who are also ready to go and teach abroad and enter the job market. So that is one big thing, the increased competition here. And then the second one is the global economy, because there's still a lot of uncertainty and volatility in the global economy affecting job prospects because of a lot of recent situations in the world, right? We all know what we're talking about here. But thank you, Amitava. I appreciate it. So that is another thing, right? Global economy, we're not in the best situation around the world. So there are a lot of things to consider. That a lot of prices are going up, a lot of other international situations, right? We all know what that's about. So that's another thing. And then varying requirements. So there are a lot of differing job requirements for teachers in certain industries or geographical areas. So that's a bit of a challenge. You can't, and that's kind of the thing for today. You can't just put Asia all under one umbrella, right? When people say, oh yeah, I want to go teach English in Asia, it's like you need to really go a little bit more specific, dig deeper, what part of Asia, what country. They're all very different, all have varying requirements. So we're going to look at that today as well. It's not just, oh yeah, let me just go teach in Asia. But that's why you're here, to get more deeper information about this beautiful continent that I've called my home for the last couple of years. So those are the main challenges. But now let's also talk about the opportunities, okay, for teaching English in Asia in 2023. Of course, number 1, it is an exciting career path. Teaching English abroad in general is an exciting career path, and it provides an alternative career path for many college graduates, but also many other people. I know this says college graduates a lot, but also really anyone. We just see a lot of college graduates going abroad to teach, right? But anyone, it's an exciting career path. Also, a lot of people who have worked a job, the same job for many years, and they want a change. They want something different. Then teaching English abroad can also be that change and an exciting new thing to do. Strong EFL markets. So Asia offers numerous opportunities for English teaching positions, including countries like South Korea, China, Japan, Thailand, and Vietnam. So those are the strongest EFL markets in Asia. There are also others, and there are also certain emerging markets. But these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 are the main strong EFL markets, and we're going to do a deep dive into all of these destinations in just a little bit. We're going to look at all of these countries in detail. But Asia is by far the strongest destination for English teachers. It has the strongest demand, the highest demand, the strongest markets for English teaching. And it also has competitive salaries. We like to hear that. So Asian countries often provide competitive salaries, also benefits and opportunities, of course, for cultural immersion, right? But let's talk about the salaries and the benefits, okay? So salaries, of course, we teach and we get paid, but also the great thing about Asia is that a lot of countries offer additional benefits. So that is things like free airplane tickets. You don't even have to spend any money to go there. Free housing, right? You don't have to pay any rent. It's provided by the school, or you get a housing allowance. Also health insurance, of course, free health insurance in many cases. Bonuses, year-end bonuses or end of contract bonuses, contract completion bonuses, things like that. In Korea, you also have a pension scheme that you pay into. You pay into the national pension scheme, but then when you leave, you get all that money back because you're not receiving that later from the government. You're not staying in Korea. So that's another really great thing. So a lot of good opportunities here in terms of money. And then also the last point here, professional development. Of course, we all know that teaching English abroad allows you to gain international work experience and develop valuable skills. So this is especially for people who want to teach English abroad for a short time, a couple of years, and then return back to their country. And then you have this really valuable international work experience under your belt, on your resume, and that really stands out and that will really help you in your local job market as well. So, I mean, I think we're all aware of these opportunities and these benefits of teaching English abroad and specifically in Asia as well. So it's very, very exciting. An exciting place to go for sure. So, yeah, I think we can all agree on that. All right, awesome. Oh, great. So we talked about the challenges. We talked about the opportunities. So also the benefits, of course. That's just kind of what we talked about, but a little bit more in depth here. Let's have a look. So we talked about this as well. Travel and cultural immersion, especially in Asia. I love it because you can travel to a lot of really inexpensive locations. Your salary will be good. Your benefits will be good. You can save a lot of money. And this is kind of the second point. You can save a lot of money from your paycheck, which you can then use for traveling, for example, or just to save money, send money back home. A lot of people also pay off their student loans with that. So a lot of opportunity there. Then we just talked about the international work experience. We talked about personal growth and skill development. Also great if you're completely new to like teaching. You learn a lot about yourself. You learn a lot about new life skills and things like that. For me, for example, I was always the kind of person who I had my mom make my doctor's appointments and everything, but then moving abroad to a different country and then also teaching English, standing in front of people, having to talk with people all the time, all day long, you really grow up and do all that. So that definitely helps. And then, of course, you're also there to make a difference in the lives of others, which is so meaningful. That's what it's kind of all about for a lot of people in terms of teaching. There's really nothing better than seeing your students improve and your students get better at English, improve, and just grow. It's a great feeling. So these are the main benefits of teaching English abroad in general. So I'm sure we can all agree on these, and those are the main reasons why many of us want to go and teach English abroad, I'm sure. Some benefits might be more important to us than others, right? All depends on what your goal is and what you want to do. So Good. So then let's explore TEFL in Asia. So when considering teaching English in Asia, you should assess your own qualifications, your preferences for stricter requirements or more flexible options, your cultural preferences, and also desired earning potential to determine whether East Asia or Southeast Asia may be a better fit for you. So that's exactly what we're going to break it down to. So we're going to look at specifically, we're going to look at East Asia, which is here on this map in orange with an orange circle. And then we're also going to look at Southeast Asia. So we're going to look at those two regions. There are more regions in Asia, of course, but East Asia and Southeast Asia are pretty much the strongest regions for teaching English abroad. And you're most likely, if you're going to Asia to teach, you're most likely ending up in either East Asia or Southeast Asia. They have the strongest EFL markets. So we're going to focus on those today. And yeah, let's have a look. Let's jump right in. So East Asia versus Southeast Asia. So maybe a little bit, what are the differences? And I picked some really good pictures, I think, that really also highlight the differences. But on the left, you can see East Asia. Kind of the pictures are from East Asia. And then on the right side, you can see Southeast Asia. So you can kind of tell a little bit about the differences already, right? So East Asia includes countries like China, Japan, Korea, and Taiwan, whereas Southeast Asia includes countries like Indonesia, Thailand, Vietnam, Singapore, Malaysia, the Philippines, and many other countries as well. So just by looking at the pictures, you can clearly see a difference here. East Asia, I mean, all of these countries, and like I said, Asia is a huge continent. All of the countries have different landscapes, history, cultures, of course. They also have all a shared core culture as well. Especially East Asian countries are similar and Southeast Asian countries tend to be similar. But then also overall, there's a overall like Asian, of course, culture in the whole region. But anyway, I'm digressing. So as you can see, East Asia, more, you have Japan, you have Korea, you have China, you have these huge booming cities over there. You also have that in Southeast Asia, but Southeast Asia is kind of more laid back, nature, beaches, if you're looking for that kind of vibe. So it really depends on you, where you should go, East Asia or Southeast Asia. So let's take a look at the differences. And maybe this might be too small to read, so I'm just gonna make myself, oh, not that. I'm gonna make myself really a little bit smaller so you can all read the text. It's a lot going on, but I really think it's important that we look at the differences. We haven't really done that before because, like I said, most people just put Asia, all the countries in Asia under one umbrella, but I think it's really important to really make this distinction, at least between East Asia and Southeast Asia. So looking at the demand, we have East Asia here, and there is a high demand for English teachers because in this part of Asia, there is a high emphasis on English education and the desire to excel academically and in international business. And I've been living in South Korea for 8 years now. Before that, I also lived in China. I also traveled to Japan. I have a lot of students from Japan. So that is definitely true. And just by looking at how education, the education system, especially the English education system is in Korea, this is absolutely the truth. Almost all of the students, they go to school, and then from school, all the students go to school. That was bad wording. Everyone goes to school, and then almost all of the students, after school, they go to another school. So an English Hagwon, a private language academy, almost every single day until late at night. Then they come home, then they do their homework, and then they are exhausted and go to bed. Basically, that is what being a student in East Asia is like most of the time. Maybe a little bit exaggerated, but also not. So that is East Asia for you. Huge emphasis on English education. That's why the demand is really high in East Asia for English teachers. Looking at Southeast Asia, the focus is a little bit different. So the demand is generally not as high as in East Asia, but it's still high. And there's a growing need for English language skills because of the tourism, but also economic development. So it is high, but the priorities are a little bit different. So in East Asia, it's all about getting into that great university, having that foreign English teacher, all of that. Southeast Asia is really more about, well, I need to learn English for my job and for the tourism industry, etc. A little bit different, just a little bit different. But the demand is great everywhere. But East Asia is just a little bit on another level in that sense. Then the earning potential, and this is here in orange because that's one of the biggest differences. We have the earning potential. East Asia just has higher salaries. Countries offer competitive salaries and also a comprehensive benefit package, and this allows most teachers to really save a significant amount of money. So you don't have to pay rent. You don't have to pay for what was that? Like health insurance, all of these things, airplane tickets, everything is covered. You don't have any expenses like that. So you can really save a lot of money off of your paycheck every month. Like I said in the beginning, a lot of people then send this money off back home to pay off student loans or whatever, to save. I have some friends who came to Korea to work as English teachers and save money so then they could go back home and buy a house or make a down payment for a house, things like that. Or pay off student loans. I have many friends who did that too when living while teaching English in Asia. Southeast Asia, salaries are generally lower than in East Asia, but the cost of living is also lower. Okay, the cost of living is lower. East Asia, cost of living is quite high in Korea and Japan, almost the same as back home. It kind of balances it out compared to back home. But definitely the cost of living in Southeast Asia is a lot lower than East Asia. And so teachers, you can still earn a comfortable living and enjoy a good quality of life. So, and you don't even have to travel far to go to amazing beaches, right? It's right in front of you. So that's great. You can still live comfortably, even though the salaries are lower, but the cost of living is also lower. So again, depends on what you want, right? I'm not saying there's what East Asia is better than Southeast Asia or Southeast Asia is better than East Asia. Depends on you personally. Are you going abroad to teach to make the most money, to send money back home, to pay off student loans? Then yes, maybe East Asia might be a better choice. But are you looking for a more relaxed kind of vibe, great weather, beach, tropical situations? Then maybe Southeast Asia might be better. So let's look at culture and lifestyle here. East Asia, like we just said, has a strong emphasis on education. And compared to Southeast Asia, they may have a more structured and disciplined teaching environment, which can also be a little bit stressful for you as a teacher. It will be there will be curriculum. You have to do this. You have to get your pages done. That's how it was for my Hagwon. Again, schools are different, but that can be like that as well. Structure is good, but then it might be maybe too much at some point. But the cultures in East Asia are often more modern also and developed, right? That's the pictures that we looked at in the beginning. So you have a lot of mega cities. You have great transportation systems, high-speed trains, subway, all of that. It's very good. Everything's very fast and convenient. That is East Asia, okay? Fast and convenient. Southeast Asia, rich cultural heritage and a more laid-back lifestyle. You might have seen this if you've traveled in Asia before. You go to Korea, you go to Japan, everybody's like always running, trying to catch the train, trying to catch the subway. Southeast Asia, my husband is Korean. We went to Thailand, we went to Vietnam. He notices that, the people, they walk so slowly here. Yes, they have a more laid back lifestyle. They walk more slowly. They're not always in a rush. So that's a very big difference. It's very interesting. then the teaching environment also kind of reflects that. So it can vary, but generally there is greater emphasis on creativity and interactive teaching methods. So it's very much you as a teacher tend to have a lot more freedom when teaching English in Southeast Asia in structuring your own classes generally, whereas in East Asia you might just get already all the material presented to you and be like, hey, this is what you need to teach, this, boom, boom, boom. That's basically kind of the difference. Then looking at the requirements for teachers. So East Asia also tends to have stricter requirements for English teachers. You need to have a bachelor's degree most often and a TEFL or a TESOL certificate. And in many cases, you also must be a native English speaker. Whereas in Southeast Asia, a bachelor's degree is not always required. A TEFL or TESOL certificate is often enough. And you should have flexibility and a willingness to adapt to different teaching environments. That is a lot more highly valued in that region of the world. So a lot of places also in Southeast Asia, they actually hire face-to-face. They like to see you first and kind of check out your vibe. So it's a lot more important about, are you, do you fit in? Versus in East Asia, it's like, oh, these are your requirements. Okay, great, you're hired. In Southeast Asia, it's a little bit more like, do you fit the vibe of the school? They don't really look at they don't put that much emphasis on their qualifications in many cases. Again, I'm generalizing here. Every school can be different. Every country can be different, but the general vibe is that. I hope that makes sense. All right, if anybody, I know you guys are well-traveled. I know many of you guys maybe are from Asia. So if you have any thoughts, any comments, let me know. Maybe what I'm saying is totally wrong. Please let me know. I'm always up for a discussion here. Like I said, I've been living in Asia since 2012. I've lived in China, and I also lived, of course, in Korea now for 8 years, traveled to Japan. So I'm very well aware of East Asian cultures and countries. I've traveled also extensively all over Southeast Asia, but of course I haven't lived there and I haven't taught there. So I can only speak from my personal experience in that realm of experience. So, yeah. Great. So these were the differences between East Asia and Southeast Asia. And I think this really gives you a great idea of the differences between those two and which might be a better fit for you personally, depending on what your vibe is, what your goals are. So then let's have a look at these favorite destinations. Basically, these are the destinations with the highest demand, with the biggest EFL markets in East Asia and Southeast Asia. So we have picked here China, Japan, South Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam. Of course, there are many, many more countries that also have a demand for English teachers, but these 5 are really the main ones where we see the highest demand. So we're going to focus on those for the next few minutes and looking at these destinations. So we're starting off with TEFL in China. I also started out teaching English in China. I always called China my first love. I started, studied Chinese in university. I've always been interested in China and fascinated by it. So I'm very biased, but yeah, we're starting off with China here. Why teach in China? China is really one of the largest and fastest growing economies in the world. I think we all know this by now. And that's why it also offers a vast demand for English education. And China is in East Asia. So again, East Asia, you definitely see that in China as well. The high focus on education, the big focus, big emphasis on English education. A lot of children go to after school, extracurricular schools, private language schools after their regular school, because English education is very important and emphasized in China. So that's why it's really a great place to go. Also, from my personal experience, traveling in China is amazing. China is huge. You have beaches, you have mountains, you really have everything. You have deserts, you have snow, You have tropical beaches, snow, everything. 4 seasons or tropics, everything you have in China. So it's a great place to be for when you like traveling as well. Salary and benefits. So you can make anywhere from 1,500 to 3,000 US dollars a month, and you get benefits like free accommodation, housing subsidies, flight allowances, and health insurance. A degree is required to teach English in China. Also, a TEFL and a TESOL certificate is required to teach English in China. You also need to be a native English speaker. That was changed a couple of years ago. However, from what I've heard, if you're not going to Shanghai, Beijing, Guangzhou, one of the like bigger cities, if you're going to a smaller city, they still hire non-native English speakers as well. So you can find positions there. And the hiring season here is really year-round. They don't have one main hiring season because honestly, the demand is so high. So you can find positions year-round in China. I remember from living in China, I used to live in Guangzhou and then also in a city called Changsha, which is the capital of Hunan province. And really, I would sit on the bus and on every corner, there would be an English language school. So the demand is really through the roof in China, and it still is. Even now after all of COVID and things, it is still a great place to go and teach in terms of that. Good. I was thinking of asking you guys something in comments, but I forgot now. But anyway, if you have any comments, any questions, please feel free to ask. I feel like I'm talking way too much now, like a lecture. So please, guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask. Put them in the comments, or even not a question, but just a comment. I would appreciate that. Anything you want to know, anything you want to go more in depth here into those destinations, let me know. I'll try my best. But don't be shy. This is not a lecture. I really like to have a conversation with you guys. But it's been little bit quiet today. A little bit quiet today. But that's okay too. That's okay too. I hope you enjoy today's session, but feel free to comment. So that was China. Now looking on to Japan. Very exciting. So, of course, why teach in Japan? Do we really need to ask this question? Japan is awesome. Japan is amazing. Beautiful country, culture, everything. But also Japan provides a blend of tradition and modernity that attracts many English teachers. And also the demand for English education and English teachers in Japan is consistently high. So it's been high for many, many years, even decades, probably 10, 15 years. Japan has always been a major EFL destination, which is great. Hi, Sheila. How are you doing? Nice to see you. And the salary and benefits. In Japan, you can make anywhere from 2,200 to 2,700 US dollars a month. And also, most typically, you get accommodation, flight reimbursement, you get health insurance coverage, paid vacation time, and work visa sponsorship. So you get a whole bunch of benefits here. That's why it's so popular as well. And they also have the JET program. Maybe you also want to mention that. So that is the Japan English. Oh, what is it called? I always forget. Japan Exchange. I always forget what it stands for. Can you believe that? Every time. The Japan Exchange and Teaching Program. See, it's so easy, but I forget. Anyway, they have the JET program, a huge established English teaching program that is super popular as well. Oh, Sheila's from the Philippines. Hi. Maybe you can give us some input about Southeast Asian countries that I'm going to talk about. I'm not going to talk about the Philippines, though, in detail, but maybe Sheila can give us some input. That would be great. All right, looking here at the requirements. So you do have to have a degree, a university degree to teach English in Japan, also a TEFL or TESOL certificate. What's interesting about Japan, though, they don't have any official restrictions or requirements in terms of native speaker versus non-native English speakers. So we actually have a lot of non-native English speakers also teaching English in Japan, which is amazing, which is great. We love to see that. Main hiring season in Japan is actually, there's two. So April is a major intake one, and then also October is a major hiring season. So that's really, really great. So yeah, teaching English in Japan has been very strong. We have graduated many ITTT graduates, TEFL course graduates who are teaching English in Japan. So I'm very familiar with that, and they all love it. Most of them are still there. Yeah, most of them have been there for years. So love to see that, and great earning potential again. So if you're looking for Japanese vibes, go there to teach English. Then we have a look at Korea. So why teach English in Korea? We kind of touched on that already, but again, English proficiency, English skills are highly valued in Korean society, and this has led to a strong demand for English language learning and a constant need for qualified English teachers in the country. I 100% agree with that. I've been living in Korea now for 8 years, and actually yesterday, funny situation, me and my husband, we went out just downstairs at the trash area to get rid of our recyclables, throwaway trash, and then there was this Korean mom and her little kid, maybe 3 years old, I don't know, and she only talked to him in English, but she was Korean. She only talked to him in English. So a lot of moms nowadays in Korea do that. They speak English with their kids to get them, used to English, hearing English, maybe learn English from really very, very young age. So yes, English proficiency is highly valued in Korean society. Lots of English language academies everywhere. Almost every student is going to those after regular school. So a lot of opportunities here for English teachers. Salary, you can make anywhere from 1,800 to 2,300 US dollars a month. You also get free or subsidized housing, reimbursed airfare, health insurance, paid vacation, all that good stuff you get. A degree is required to teach English in Korea, and also you need to be an English native speaker to teach English in Korea. So it's not like Japan, unfortunately. And the main hiring seasons are February and August. So that is that about Korea. Yeah. Then we are going to Southeast Asia. So Thailand, of course, we need to talk about Thailand. Thailand is also one of those places with the highest or with the biggest demand for English language teachers in this region. So Thailand has a growing economy and a strong focus on English language education there as well. It is seen as a crucial skill for international communication and career advancement. And of course, also you're going to be teaching, if you go to Thailand, you're going to be teaching a lot of people in the tourism industry. There we go, the tourism industry. We all know tourism in Thailand is booming. Everybody's traveling there, so they need English. Salary between 950 to 1,300 US dollars a month. Again, as you can see now, the salaries are lower compared to East Asian countries, China, Japan, Korea. But keep in mind what we talked about earlier, the cost of living in Southeast Asia is also a lot lower, right? So some schools also may offer additional benefits like accommodation, health insurance, and paid holidays. But not as common, all of these benefit packages compared to East Asia. You need to have a degree to teach English in Thailand. There are no restrictions on whether you need to be a native English speaker or not, but from what I've heard and seen and the people that I've talked to, there is a preference for native English speakers. But again, I think if you're not necessarily in Bangkok, in Chiang Mai, in like the big cities, Phuket, if you're going to smaller towns and cities, they would hire also non-native English speakers. And then the main hiring seasons for Thailand is May and then again in October. So these are the two main hiring seasons. And yeah, I've been to Thailand 3 times. Love it. I could definitely see myself teaching there if I didn't have my roots here in Korea. I would definitely go there to teach English. It's an amazing place. You never get tired of visiting Thailand, of seeing, exploring the country. There's so much to see. It's a beautiful place. Um, and again, also the beauty I think about living in Thailand, you have the beaches and the islands and everything in the south, but then you also have the mountains and the jungle in the north. Like Chiang Mai city is really great. No beach near there, but it's jungle, it's elephants, it's a whole other vibe. So you also have kind of two different things going on, which is great. So that's I could definitely see myself going there. That's all I'm saying. All right, and then we are looking at another destination in Southeast Asia, which is Vietnam. And again, here also, English proficiency is highly valued in Vietnam, as it is seen as an important skill for international communication, business, and also academic pursuits. And again, also in Vietnam, you have the tourism as well, which is why English is very important there as well. And then you have the salary and benefits, 1,000 to 2,500 a month, higher than Thailand. And you can also get sometimes accommodation assistance, flight reimbursement, health insurance, and paid vacation time. It's also not always required for you to have a degree, which is great. There are no restrictions on native English speaker versus non-native English speaker, which is great. And the hiring season, there is no hiring season. You can find a job in Vietnam year round, which is also great. And I went to Vietnam just in March for the second time. I also love Vietnam. That's why I put the coffee beans here, because Vietnamese coffee is the best. Honestly, it's amazing. Coffee culture in Vietnam is superb. So I could also definitely see myself going there and live there for a while. I could see myself living in all of these 5 countries. Let me tell you, I've been to all of them. Love all of them. Definitely can see myself living in all of them. And I have lived in 2 out of these. I lived in China and in Korea. So there we go. Just my personal input. But I'm curious, of course, to see what you guys think. And before I ask you that, let's talk about how to apply for jobs in East Asia and Southeast Asia. So we already talked about the hiring seasons for each country. They're very different. So keep that in mind. If you have one country where you're like, yeah, I really want to go teach English in Korea, you need to know the hiring seasons and when most positions are coming out so that you are ready. But yes, you can find an English teaching job in Asia through us, through ITTT. So all of our ITTT course graduates, you get access to job support services. So that means you get access to unadvertised jobs and also access to schools in Asia that are always looking and hiring ITTT graduates. You also get information for TEFL and TESOL recruitment partners that we have that are specialized in Asia. We work with a couple of different recruitment agencies who are specializing in Asia and who are always looking for ITTT course graduates to place into schools in Asia. So that's one way. And then also, of course, online job boards are very popular. So you can find positions in Asia here. Websites like Dave's ESL Cafe, TEFL.com, ESL Employment, for example, they all feature job listings from various countries in Asia as well. So you can just do a Google search. One other tip, if, for example, you already know where you want to go. For example, you want to go to Thailand, you want to go to Chiang Mai in the north, beautiful city, you want to go there, open up Google Maps, put in Chiang Mai, and then put in English language school. And then you see all the English language schools in Chiang Mai, and you just contact them, apply, just cold applying, right? You can do that too. Of course, you can also find other recruitment agencies, TEFL recruiters, when you Google that. But if you just go through us, you know that these recruiters are legit. They know what they're doing. and we recommend them. And we actually have a site up on our website with our recruitment partners. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I forgot to where is it? Oh, I really want to find this page for you guys. Give me 1 second. If not, I have to. Oh yeah, here. I think that's it. Yes. Okay. Here, perfect. Yes, that's exactly what I was looking for. So I have this link for you. Here, and this link is a link to our page with all of our recruitment partners and schools, so that you can see who they are, and many of them are specialized in Asia, so check that out if you're interested. And that's how you can find a job. And really then all it is, you apply, you send in your application, and then hopefully they would contact you back and you would do an online interview, and then you would get the job, and then you would start your teaching abroad journey. It's really that easy. Sounds so easy, right? I know. So that's basically how it goes. And yeah, if you want to go through us and you want to take a TEFL course, TESOL course for teaching English in Asia, it's highly beneficial. Contact us, get in touch. You can just go to teflcourse.net, to our website. You can also request a callback from one of our team members. So if you go to our website and then at the top, it says request a callback, I think. Yeah, right at the top, it says request callback. So you can do that and speak with us. Or you can email us, courses@tsol-tefl.com. You can also, if you want, reach out to me personally. If you're specifically interested in South Korea, I know a lot about that, also China, you can just send me a DM here on Instagram @LindaGoesEast. I would appreciate that. And let's see. Yeah, we're doing Q&A now. So if you have any questions about anything that I've talked about today, about Asia, teaching English in Asia, any comments, any questions, or anything else, any other feedback, questions about anything else, I'm open to it. Now is your time to ask a question. And I always say there are no stupid questions, so just whatever comes to mind, just say it. And again, because I just want to mention this again, the 30% off. 30% off our TEFL or TESOL course. So what you can do is you can scan this QR code right here, or I'm just going to share our link again in the comments, and that link will get you a 30% off discount off of our TEFL or TESOL courses. All of them. So whichever course you pick, you can get a 30% discount by choosing this link. Sign up via this link or scan this QR code. Both is possible. All right. Awesome. And then I am all ears for you guys' questions for today. If it's not relating to teaching English in Asia, that's totally fine. This Q&A is for everything. Everything about TEFL, TESOL, teaching English abroad or online, or our courses, or whatever else you want to know. I'll try my best in answering it. Whatever else you want to know. And maybe actually, if you, maybe I need to change this really quick to, okay. So if you could go to any country and teach English abroad and live there for a while, where would you like to go? Where would you like to go to teach English abroad? Maybe that. Let's start with that. I'm asking you a question first. My Q&A. I'm asking you a question first. Doesn't have to be Asia. If it's not Asia, that's cool. Just wherever. Where would you like to live abroad and teach English? Or are you like, no, I like my country. I want to stay in my country. I just want to teach English online. That's also an option. Let me know. Let me know in the comments. Like I said, based on all of the 5 countries we just talked about, China, Japan, Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam, I can really see myself living in all of these. Would be fun. However, I do really like East Asia because of the weather mainly. It has a really nice spring and summer, warm, hot summer, even too hot. But then it also cools down. You have fall, autumn, and spring. But Southeast Asia is just always kind of hot. I don't know if I can handle that as a European. You know, might be too hot for me. Not sure. I never lived in any of these places for a very long time, so I'm not sure. But I do like having 4 seasons. It's really pretty having 4 seasons, living in East Asia. Cherry blossoms in the spring, you know, and then you have lotus season in the summer and all these other flowers and bamboo forests and stuff. And then you have beautiful fall foliage as well. And then you also get snow and you can actually ski also here. So I like that. I like skiing and winter sports. But anyway. All right, we have a question here from Learning. Hi. Hello, ma'am. Thank you for the class. Well, I don't want it to be a class, but it's okay. Please mention the band score or any English proficiency requirements to register for above said courses. Okay, great. So actually, you don't have to have an English proficiency certificate or anything like that to take our TEFL or TESOL course. All you need to have is you need to be over 18 and you just need to be a fluent English speaker. So it's a very loose term. There's no score or anything like that, a grade attached to that. As long as you understand the course units, you're good to go. So if you go to our website and you just have a read through the courses, the course descriptions, if you understand that, then you are definitely qualified. So no need to provide any score or things like that for our courses. However, we do recommend non-native English speakers who want to teach English abroad to definitely have an English proficiency certification when applying for jobs, right? But at the time of you taking a TEFL or a TESOL course, you do not have to have a certificate like that or show us that. You don't have to do that. Hope that helps. Amitava says, I would like to live in any one of the 26 Schengen countries, provided I get the required visa and the requisite permission to work in the EU. How do I go about doing this requirement? Yeah, well, depends. I think, do all of the Schengen countries have the same requirements? I don't think so, right? So it would depend on where you want to go, right? Which country, and then you need to figure out the requirements for that country. And I know Amitabh very well, so I know you are more than qualified. I know all of your most of your qualifications. I think I'm aware of now. So I think you're very qualified, and I think you're at a stage now where you can really just apply to everything you see. And maybe even one of the government-funded teaching programs in Europe. Maybe you should apply to one of those. What comes to mind, maybe this is one of my favorite programs I've heard about. In Hungary, teaching program. What was that called? CT, Hungary English Teaching Program. CT, what was it called? Central European Teaching Program in Hungary. So CETP in Hungary. I think that program might work for you. The single largest provider of teachers to Hungarian public schools. Central European Teaching Program. Maybe that's a good place to start, Amitabha, actually. How to apply? Oh, their website looks good too. Program details, etc., etc. I'm not 100% sure now of their requirements at the moment, But why not check it out, Amitabha? I'm going to just paste that here into the comments so you can check it out. That might be a good place to start. Just a recommendation. I have also been to Hungary, Budapest, beautiful place. I could see myself living there too. I could see myself living everywhere. So check that out. But yeah, that's that. All right. Anybody else have a question? Ask me your questions about TEFL, TESOL, teaching English abroad, anything you want to know. I still have a couple of minutes that I can be here. We're 1 hour in, so I'm just going to give you a couple more minutes for anybody who just joined or joined late or was too shy to ask a question so far. Also want to say that I will be back again next week as well. There will be another live session. This is a weekly thing, right? So if you don't have a question right now, you can ask me next time as well. Everything's cool. So yeah. That's that. Let's see. I think I mentioned everything, right? Ooh, I also just saw that I can add some background music. That might be interesting to try out next time. Maybe I should do that. Cool. And there's no awkward silence. How about that? Maybe try that. Not sure. All right. Well, if there are no more questions coming through today, then I think we're just going to end it here. But thank you so much for being here today and joining me, because I really liked to talk about teaching English in Asia. I've been living in Asia for a long time. I love Asia and all the different cultures and countries and stuff like that. So I really appreciate that you allowed me to talk about that today, and that you were listening and all of your questions and input. So thank you so much. And I hope you guys learned something new today, and maybe it inspired you to go and teach English abroad in Asia. And now you maybe know a little bit more about whether you should go to East Asia or Southeast Asia or whatnot. And again, if you're listening to this as a podcast episode, thank you again so much for the download. And maybe next time, if you're a listener of our podcast, maybe next time you can join us live here. That would be also great. We're always live at this time. You can check out our Facebook page for event details. And yeah, I will be back again next week, and I hope to see you again that time as well. And until then, I wish you a wonderful time, wonderful weekend, and a wonderful next week. And yeah, I will see you again. And Amitabha posted something again in German. Let's have a look. Maybe you should go to Germany then, Amitabha. Vielen Dank für Ihre freundliche Hilfe und Vorschläge, Linda. Thank you. So Amitabha says, thank you for your friendly help and suggestions, Linda. Thank you, Amitabha. I appreciate it. All right. Then I'm going to say goodbye, and thank you guys again so much for joining me today. And if you have any questions, don't worry. Just reach out. That's totally fine. And yeah, then I will see you again next time. And I'm going to say goodbye. Thank you guys. Bye.